Hi, I am Kakarla Krishna Kishore, mechanical engineer. Today, we are going to discuss critical resolved shear stress. Now, in this session, we are going to discuss critical resolved shear stress in material technology. So what is critical resolved shear stress and why it is important in material understanding or deformation technology? And it plays, we already know that CRSS, it is represented as CRSS, critical resolved shear stress, plays a vital role in deciding deformation. And so many salient features are around critical resolved shear stress. We will discuss in detail. Let me discuss the definition of CRSS first. What is critical resolved shear stress? Just observe here. Here, if you apply a pressure on a material, maybe shear stress. So due to that, it initiates slip. You can observe here, it initiates slip. How much stress, that is how much shear stress is required to initiate slip, is represented as critical resolved shear stress. Observe the definition here. Critical resolved shear stress is the minimum shear stress required to initiate slip and is a property of material that determine when yielding occurs. Here you are observing 2 points here. One is the shear stress required to initiate slip. If you observe the animation, how much shear stress is required to initiate slip, that is a minimum. That is first point. Second point is this critical resolved shear stress is a property of the material, like ductile nature of the material, like brittle nature of the material. Critical resolved shear stress is also a property of the material. How it is property of the material, we will discuss in coming slides. And one more point, we must understood that it is constant for given crystal. So that means for a particular material, the critical resolved stress value is constant. Suppose for steel, CRSS is constant. It is not depending on the force applied or any other thing. It is completely the property of the material. You can observe in images like this. Observe this image. This is a specimen. In general, in initial stage, the specimen is represented as a slip planes here. Slip plane means if any force is applied, if it reaches to the minimum level, then this slip plane may disturb. How much force is required? That depends on the material. These are the slip planes, depends on the tensile force or compressive force. These slip planes may distorted from the regular axis. You can observe in another image how the slip plane is changing the direction. Here, in understanding critical resolved shear stress, we must understand what do you mean by resolved shear stress first. Here, if you observe, this is the primary slip plane here. In initial stage, it is represented as a primary slip plane. When force is applied, the slip plane changes its direction. How much change is existed? So those things matters here. Now, let me explain resolved shear stress in a material. Let us take one specimen like this, and in that specimen, let me explain what is resolved shear stress. Now, let us take a cylindrical specimen. A tensile force is applied here like this. Sigma tensile force is applied. Due to this tensile force, a slip plane may be existed, and here you are observing two directions here, two directions. Let me explain in this what is resolved shear stress. Please observe the definition first. The resolved shear stress is the shear component of an applied tensile or compressive stress. So means you can have the tensile force or compressive force. The result is same. Compressive stress resolved along a slip plane that is other than perpendicular or parallel to the stress axis. So resolved shear stress means here the direction is other than perpendicular or parallel to the stress axis. So that means here this is not the axis here, this is the resolved shear stress direction. Now we have to concentrate the magnitude and the direction of the slip plane. Suppose if because of this tensile force, if this slip plane moves, automatically the total specimen may have some deformation. Due to that deformation, if you are able to identify the deformation and the magnitude of the deformation, we can easily assess how much deformation may be observed for a particular tensile value. So this is very, very important parameter in understanding deformation and material properties. Now you can observe the same critical resolved shear stress, that is resolved shear stress first in a graph. This graph is between resolved shear stress versus stress here. This is the direction. You can observe a straight line here. The slip direction here, slip plane direction. This is the slip plane direction. And the value here you can observe the resolved shear stress is represented as the magnitude of the resolved shear stress is sigma into cos pi 1 and cos pi 2. Here, what is pi 1 and what is pi 2 and what is sigma here? We will discuss. This is the magnitude of resolved shear stress. Here, one important factor we have to understand, that is skimmed factor. What is skimmed factor here? Here, the resolved shear stress is related to the applied stress by a geometrical factor m, typically the skimmed factor. So that is cos pi 1 and cos pi 2. So means here you can observe this cos pi 1 into cos pi 2. This magnitude is represented as m value here. M means here skimmed factor, and it is multiplied with sigma is denoted as resolved shear stress. What is that law? What is Smith's law? The law describes the slip plane and the slip direction of a stressed material which can resolve the most shear stress. So these two angles are very, very important. According to this law, if these two angles are sufficient or minimum value, then automatically the slip plane may disturb the particular material. Let us discuss one more point here, that is what is sigma and what is pi 1 and what is pi 2 here. Now observe the specimen here. In this specimen, you can observe the pi 1, pi 2 and sigma. Now what is sigma here? The sigma is magnitude of the applied tensile stress. Magnitude of the applied tensile stress. That means how much tensile stress is applied on the specimen. The next one is pi 1 here. You can observe the pi 1 angle. This angle is between the normal. This is the normal of the slip plane. This is the normal. This is the axis normal of the slip plane and the direction of the applied force. So this is the direction of the applied force. Pi 2 is the angle between the slip direction. Slip direction is, this is the slip direction. D, it is represented as D here. This is the slip direction. The angle between the slip direction and the direction of the applied force. So this is the direction of the applied force and the angle between direction of the applied force and the slip direction is represented as pi 2. Now, if you multiplied cos pi 1 and cos pi 2, it is represented as Skim's factor. And if it is multiplied with the sigma, that is the magnitude of the applied tensile stress, it is represented as resolved shear stress. Now, after knowing all these things, we must have some more salient features about skimmed factor. So what is skimmed factor here? Please observe one more salient feature. Just observe the sentence. The skimmed factor is most applicable to FCC single crystalline metals. So that means most of the FCC metals are having this type of nature. And you can observe in another sentence, the critical resolved shear stress is the value of the resolved shear stress at which yielding of the grain occurs, marking the onset of the plastic deformation. What it means? Please observe the graph here. Up to this, in initial stage, the stress is directly proportional to strain. Nothing happens. But after that, the yielding of, when it reaches to the yielding, then the plastic region starts. Here the minimum value, how much minimum value is required, this is the minimum value, how much minimum value is required to disturb, to deform the material. So the value, that value is independent for the material to material. So that means it vary from material to material. So here the critical resolved shear stress is the property of the material. What is that value here? Please observe these two things here. First one is sigma y, means yield stress. So yield stress is equal to, is represented as critical resolved stress value divided by the m, means skimmed factor, that is cos pi 1 and cos pi 2, the maximum value of skimmed factor. If this is the case, then this formula clearly shows that critical resolved shear stress is a material property and is not dependent on the applied load or grain orientation. You can observe the sentence here. This critical resolved stress is not a dependent property. It is a material property. Here, it is a material property. And one more salient feature regarding CRSS is, that is critical resolved stress, is it is related to the observed yield strength of the material. So that means depends on the yield strength. Suppose if the yield strength increases, critical resolved stress also increases. That is very, very important. So that means the critical resolved stress is directly proportional to the yield strength of the material. So in another word, we can say that it is the property of the material, like ductile property or brittle property. Critical resolved shear stress is also a property of the material. Observe some more salient features. The constant for crystal families, and if you observe hexagonal HCP, that is hexagonal close packed crystals, three main families in HCP structure. One is Bessel, and another one is prismatic, and another one is pyramidal, with different values for the critical resolved shear stress. So many advantages are there. If you understand critical resolved shear stress, the conclusion is it is also a property of the material, and the magnitude of CRSS is directly depends on the yield strength of the material. This is all about critical resolved shear stress. I hope you understood. In next coming sessions, we will discuss another topic in material technology. Thank you one and all. This is Kakarla Krishna Kishore signing off.